It took us 3 years, but it's finally here. Part 2, the heavyweight story continues. Let's begin by mentioning the major events that occurred since Part 1. In 2017, British boxer Anthony Joshua defeated veteran and former champion Vladimir Klitschko at Wembley Stadium. With that victory, he added a vacant WBA title to his collection. By this time, Tyson Fury, who had been stripped of the WBA, WBO, and IBF belts, was going on a downward spiral due to alcohol and drug abuse. Meanwhile, Deontay Wilder, who had acquired the WBC title back in 2015, was on his way to successfully defending it and gradually climbing the heavyweight ranks. This meant that one belt was missing, the WBO title. The vacant strap was up for grabs between two undefeated boxers, New Zealand's Joseph Parker and Mexican-American Andy Ruiz. Joseph Parker won a hard-fought majority decision and became the WBO heavyweight champion. After capturing the WBA and IBF titles, Anthony Joshua decided to unify with Joseph Parker on March 2018. The fight was an uneventful 12-rounder, which Anthony Joshua won by unanimous decision. By this time, Deontay Wilder, however, made 7 defenses of his WBC title, none of which went the distance. The stage was set for a unification bout between two unbeaten giants in Joshua and Wilder. The people demanded it. And while Wilder and Joshua were setting the stage for a potential megafight, former lineal champion Tyson Fury was in the process of making a comeback. His performances failed to impress. The lackluster fights led pundits to believe that it would take years for the former champ to regain his form, and that was if Fury could avoid relapsing into a world of decadence. After his lackluster performances, Tyson Fury decided to challenge WBC champion Deontay Wilder. The undefeated power puncher accepted the challenge and met Fury on December of 2018. Many thought that Fury was not ready to face a fast, heavy puncher like Wilder, but the Brit believed in himself. Fury appeared to bank most of the rounds thanks to his sharp jab and elusive upper body movement. But he was dropped in the 9th round and then dramatically knocked down in the 12th, barely rising from the fall. In the end, the fight was called a draw, much to boxing fans' chagrin. Both men spoke of an immediate rematch, but as it turned out, that would have to wait. On June 1st, 2019, Anthony Joshua decided to make his much-anticipated American debut. The site would be Madison Square Garden in New York City, home of some of the most legendary moments in boxing. AJ had been tapped to face New York's Jarrell Big Baby Miller, but the fight ended up being scrapped when the American tested positive to various performance-enhancing drugs. This left Joshua scrambling for an opponent. In the end, he chose Andy Ruiz, who years earlier had lost to Joseph Parker in an attempt to win the vacant WBO belt. The American welcome party did not go as planned, as Andy Ruiz shocked the world by rising from a knockdown and dropping Joshua several times, forcing the stoppage. Andy Ruiz was now the WBA, IBF, and WBO heavyweight champion of the world, and talks of a fight between Joshua and Wilder were now officially over. On December of that same year, Anthony Joshua exercised his right to an immediate rematch and faced Andy Ruiz once again, but this time in the desert land of Saudi Arabia. Many warned Joshua not to fight Andy Ruiz so soon, believing that the former champion needed more time off and some tune-up fights in order to regain his confidence. Still, Joshua proceeded with the rematch. Once again, Ruiz shocked the world, but in a very different way than he had in the summer. For the rematch, he came in at a sloppy 280 pounds, much heavier than in the first fight. The extra weight only made Joshua's job easier as he darted his way to an uneventful, unanimous decision. Despite the terrible performance and lame excuses from Andy Ruiz, the Mexican-American stated that he looked forward for the third fight. Boxing fans, however, seemed to care little if he ever boxed again. It had been over a year since the first Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder bout. In the interim, each man had fought twice in 2019. Finally, after much talking, they met again on February the 22nd, 2020. Leading up to the rematch, Tyson Fury promised that he would abandon his usual boxing style and instead go for the kill against the fearsome puncher. To achieve this, Fury switched trainers and teamed up with Javon Sugar Hill, nephew of Hall of Fame trainer Emanuel Stewart. Wilder, on the other hand, believed that Tyson Fury had been lucky to rise from the 12th round and promised to lay the Gypsy King out for good. Both men came in weighing more than in their first bout, leaving no doubt that they were looking for the knockout. Fury started out as promised, abandoning his usual stick and move tactics and pressed forward. The hunter became the hunted. Tyson Fury mauled and dropped his opponent. Seeing that their man had nothing left, Wilder's corner threw in the towel and surrendered. After 2 years of battling mental illness and contemplating suicide, Tyson Fury achieved what most believed was impossible. Not only did he step back into the ring, but he managed to regain the lineal heavyweight championship of the world. Tyson Fury currently holds the WBC title. Rumors are that he and Wilder will have a third fight later in 2020. Anthony Joshua, meanwhile, currently holds the WBA, IBF, and WBO heavyweight championships and is set to face Bulgarian strongman Kubrat Pulev.